Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. On behalf of Aziata Group Berhad, I would like to welcome you today on the presentation of segmental and interim reporting of our company. Firstly, let me introduce myself and my fellow workmates. My name is Nurhanisa binti Muhammad Noor, and here is Mr. Nur Azri bin Ismail. The second one is Mr. Nur Hafizuddin bin Maknuri, and last but not least, Ms. Nurul Ain binti Sapuan. We are currently appointed as the new accountant executive, and we will be your presenter for today. So before anything else, let me give a brief introduction of our company. So Aziata Group Berhad is located in Kuala Lumpur, and it is a part of investment firms industry and a Malaysia-based telecommunications company which manage Aziata Group. The group has controlling interest in 6 mobile operators under the brand names of Celcom in Malaysia, XL in Indonesia, M1 in Singapore, and other brands named in many more countries. Aziata Group's product and services include prepaid and postpaid mobile services, television broadcasting and cable television services, internet services, enterprise solutions, digital marketing and e-commerce services, mobile advertising and machine-to-machine solutions. Aziata was incorporated in 1992 as an international business division of Telecom Malaysia. It was separated from Telecom and subsequently listed in 2008. Khazanah Nasional and other state funds combined hold more than 60% of Aziata's share. The group is led by its president and CEO, Tan Sri Jamaluddin Ibrahim, which is a former IBM engineer who joined Aziata in 2008 after 9 years as CEO of Maxis Communications. So next, Ms. Nur Ain will be presenting on the management approach used by Aziata.
Next, we continue with management approach. For business segment, Aziata Berhad use factor of nature on product and services. Since the company's major business is on investment and the provision of telecommunication and consultancy services on an international scale, Aziata Berhad is under geographical segment and business segment. The geographical segments are from Malaysia, Indonesia, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Nepal and Cambodia. Meanwhile, business segment is infrastructure, comprises of Malaysia, which our product and services is called as Celcom Aziata Berhad, Indonesia as PTXL Aziata Tbk, Bangladesh as Robi Aziata Limited, Sri Lanka as Dialog Aziata PLC, Nepal as Ncell Aziata Limited, and Cambodia as Smart Aziata Company Limited. Next, we move on with type of segment. According to the Aziata Berhad Annual Report 2020, they stated both type of operating segment are business segment and geographical segment. Next is Chief Operating Decision Maker (CODM). The CODM of Aziata Berhad is Tan Sri Jamaluddin Ibrahim. He is the one who is responsible for allocating resources and assessing performance of the operating segments. He has been identified as a board of directors that makes strategic decisions.
So this is the actual segmental reporting of Aziata Group Berhad that we took from Aziata third quarter of 2020 report. The operating segment is based on geographical areas which consist of 6 countries that are Malaysia, Indonesia, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Nepal and Cambodia. There are also infrastructure segment and others. So far, Aziata Group Berhad, they are using the revenue basis which consists of external operating revenue and inter-segment. This is the segmental reporting that I have constructed, which consists of the types of revenue and the segments that I get from the report. So as you can see here, there are 4 reportable segments which are Malaysia, Indonesia, Bangladesh and Sri Lanka, while the non-reportable segments are Nepal, Cambodia, infrastructure and others. So you must be wondering, how do I know there are segments are reportable or not? Actually, I have constructed 10% threshold test and 75% threshold test. So we are using 10% threshold test and 75% threshold test. The total revenue for Axiata Group Berhad is 25,717,968 ringgit. For the 10% threshold test, we will calculate the total of external and inter-segment that will be divided by total revenue and will be converted into percentage for each category. As you guys can see here, for Malaysia, the total of external revenue and inter-segment is 6,218,831 ringgit, and converted into percentage, which we will get 24.18%. This percentage is more than 10%. Therefore, it can be reportable under 10% threshold test. Same goes to other country. We will go through the same steps in conducting the test, and for Indonesia, we will get 29.22%, which is more than 10%. Thus, it can be reportable. For Bangladesh, after conducting the 10% threshold test towards this country, we will get 14.55%, and it is more than 10%. Therefore, it can be reportable. Furthermore, for Sri Lanka, after conducting the same test towards Sri Lanka, we will get 10.58%, which is more than 10%. Therefore, it can be reportable. Next, the revenue for Nepal is 1,479,397 ringgit and will be divided by the total revenue of 25,717,968 ringgit and converted into percentage. We will get 5.75%, which is less than 10%. Thus, it cannot be reportable under 10% threshold test. For Cambodia, we are using the same steps in conducting this 10% threshold test. So we will get 5.34%, which is less than 10%. Thus, it cannot be reportable. Next, for infrastructure and others, after calculating it, we will get results of 7.31% and 3.06% respectively. Both of infrastructure and others is less than 10%, and therefore both cannot be reportable. So the conclusion is Malaysia, Indonesia, Bangladesh and Sri Lanka can be reportable under 10% threshold test, while the other segments cannot be reportable under 10% threshold test. So let us move on to 75% threshold test. As you guys can see, there are the total external revenue for each of the reportable segments. Thus, it will be divided by total external revenue, which is 24,203,171 ringgit, and will be converted into percentage. We will get 82.95%, which is more than 75%. That's all for me. And let's continue with next presenter.
Now, I'm going to explain about the advantages and disadvantages of cemetery reporting by Axiata Group Berhad. The first advantages is respect decentralized cooperation. Since Axiata Group Berhad have many different sectors such as mobile that divided by 5 countries, second, infrastructure and others, there will be a person or a group that will be in charge in the sector. In respect of decentralized cooperation, the financial analysis cannot price or criticize the company but can remark on the person or the group that in charge in the sector. Second advantage is accurate representation. Cemetery reporting help the analysis to see through all the sectors of Axiata Group Berhad. They can see which sector is the best and generate profit. By this way, this will increase the awareness and trust of investors for a company's true performance. For disadvantages, the first is the risk of unwanted disclosure. Since the cemetery reporting provided the useful and relevant information, this can benefit the competitors to use the information gained. For example, they may use the information and predict what is going to be decided by the chief of decision making of Axiata Berhad. The second disadvantage is data manipulation. CODM of Axiata Group Berhad may choose what metrics to be reported and how the segments were constructed. This may lead to data manipulation if CODM decide to report the information in true management styles. The CODM of Axiata Group Berhad also may cherry-pick metrics to present only good information to the stakeholders. The basis of preparation of interim report by Axiata Group Berhad is ended on 31 December 2020 as stated in their unaudited financial statements. There are two accounting policies that are used by Axiata Berhad in preparing their interim report. The first one is plant property and equipment under MFRS 116 that stated the original cost of PPE in their financial statement. And second, lease under MFRS 16 that stated the original cost of right of use assets in their financial statement. There are three types of interim report provided by the Axiata Group Berhad. First is condensed statement of profit or loss. Second, condensed statement of financial position. And third, condensed statement of change in equity.
Alright, so thank you, Mr. Azri. Next, I'm going to present on the current and comparative of each statement prepared by the company. For your information, we are currently referring to the fourth quarter of interim report of 2020. This table shows that the current and comparative statement of financial position. So for each statement, there will be two columns, which is reporting period and reporting date, and the row for a statement of financial position would be current interim and the comparative, which the comparative is we will compare with the statement of the previous year. So let's look at the table. For current interim report, it will be 3 months for the period because the fourth quarter started on the 1st October of 2020 until end of the year, 31st December 2020. For the comparative, it will be 12 months because we are comparing with the end of the year of the previous year. So it will be 1st January 2019 until 31st December 2019. So for next statement, we will look at the statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income. So for this table, there will be 4 rows, which is current interim, cumulative, comparative for current interim, and comparative for year to date. So current interim will be the same as the previous statement, which is a statement of financial position. The current interim period will be 3 months since the fourth quarter started on the 1st October 2020 until end of the year, 31st December 2020. But for cumulative period, it would be starting from 1st January 2020 until end of the reporting period, 31st December 2020. So for comparative on current interim, it would be 3 months, but we compare it with the previous year. So it would be the first day of the fourth quarter of the previous year, 1st October 2019 until 31st December 2019. So for comparative year-to-date period, it would be 12 months because it started on the beginning of the reporting period of the previous year, which is 1st January 2019 until 31st December 2019. So let's look at the next statement, which is current and comparative statement of changes in equity. So for this statement, there will be 2 rows. The first one is for cumulative for year to date and comparative for year to date. Since it is year to date, it will begin on the 1st January 2020 until end of the reporting date, 31st December 2020. So for the comparative, which we will compare with the previous year, so it started on the 1st January 2019 until 31st December 2019. So the period will be 12 months. So for current and comparative statement of cash flow, it will be the same as the statement of changes in equity. The rule will be the same, which is cumulative for year to date and comparative for year to date. And for the reporting date, it would be the same as well. For cumulative, it will be starting from the beginning of the reporting date, 1st January 2020 until 31st December 2020. And for comparative, we will compare it with the previous year, starting from 1st January 2019 until 31st December 2019.
We move along with an adjustment. Number 1, Axiata Group Berhad has bought a machine that costs 100,000 ringgit on 16 June 2020, but not yet recorded and will be depreciated 10% annually on straight line basis. Number 2 is on 30th of December 2020, Axiata Group Berhad has paid 1% from the remaining borrowings at Maybank Berhad by cheque. This is the solution after adjustment for the fourth quarter. Axiata Group Berhad's statement of financial position at the year end of 31st December 2020. As you can see, there are current interim period from 1st October 2020 until 31st of December 2020 and the comparative period for the whole year of 2019. The extract will be non-current asset and the non-current liabilities. As you can see, for the property, plant and equipment, we has highlighted for the workings 1. The new machine is 100,000 ringgit and we will depreciate it for 10% and you will get 10,000 ringgit Malaysia. So the carrying amount will be 90,000 ringgit Malaysia. The accumulated depreciation for the current machine is 24,585,647 ringgit times with 10%, you will get 2458,564 and 70 cents. So the new property, plant and equipment will be 24,685,647 ringgit Malaysia. This is because you have been plus with the 100,000 ringgit, and the for new accumulated depreciation is 24,685,647 ringgit Malaysia. You times with 10% and it will be 2468,564.70 cents. So we move on with current interim period. As you can see, the property, plant and equipment, it has changed to 24,685,647 ringgit Malaysia, and you have to minus with the accumulated depreciation, so we'll get the new carrying amount. Meanwhile, the comparative period will not be changed and it will be 25,633,223 ringgit. We move on with working 2. Paid borrowings will be 14,773,885 ringgit. Times with 1%, you will get 147,738.95. So the new amount of 14,630,656 ringgit Malaysia and 5 cents. That will be the new amount of borrowing, and the comparative period is 9,194,490 ringgit Malaysia.